the most intriguing aspect of the receiving core is probably who's going to be the third receiver. You all know how I feel about Kareem Hunt. We're going to take him out of the mix, though, for this discussion, because I feel like we've talked about that a lot. More than anything, this is about which receivers are going to make the roster, I guess, kind of that battle there. So, Mary Kay, when you heard Chad O'Shea talk today, what kind of stood out to you about what he had to say about that third receiver?
Well, he was very adamant that it's still an open competition. I mean, we have heard in recent days some chatter about Rashard Higgins. Alex Van Pelt kind of talked up Rashard Higgins the other day, and Rashard has done a nice job. With Kaderil Hodge out 5 days for a personal reason, and Damian Ratley missing all of practice until 2 days ago, it's given rise to a person like Rashard Higgins being able to go out there and kind of reestablish himself. You know, longtime old Baker favorite, and he's caught some touchdown passes and he's looked pretty good. But Chad O'Shea pumped the brakes on that narrative today. I mean, he really did. He said it is still an open competition. Nothing is set in stone. We've got a lot of guys there vying for that job, and it's, you know, he's like, bring it on. And that was basically how it went.
You know, I think we came into this training camp thinking Higgins was the guy just based on his familiarity with Baker and really overall experience. And I think at this point in camp, I would say he's probably still that guy. And I know that, you know, today we heard some praise for Kaderil Hodge, but I would think Higgins is probably that guy, just knowing what he can do. He can play outside. He's played a decent amount in the slot. You know, he can back up multiple spots. So I think, you know, at this point, I think he's kind of the guy to beat.
Although Kaderil Hodge is really the guy to keep in mind. Scott, you said it. We heard some high praise from him, from O'Shea, but it was also interesting the other day. Kevin Stefanski almost kind of lit up when Kaderil Hodge was brought up and spent a lot of time talking about him. Now, there's the special teams element of it with Hodge, but I guess what stood out to me today is Hodge is back. He came back Friday, was dealing with a personal issue, so he's missed a little bit of time, but he is back. And today he was out there really kind of picking up where he left off. He wasn't down the depth chart at all. Nobody was really in front of him. But when it wasn't Odell and Jarvis out there, it was Kaderil Hodge with the ones, and he was doing some work in the slot.
It's very rare that I hear a coach sing the praises of a player quite like Chad O'Shea did today with Kaderil Hodge, talking about how smart he is, how selfless he is, how he can play multiple roles, how grateful he is to have him in his wide receiver room. He's making the team. I mean, there is no question about it after today. Take it to the bank. Kaderil Hodge is on this football team, and I don't know what was going on with him, you know, and I haven't been able to quite figure that out yet. But now that he's back, I think it's kind of like, watch out, Kaderil's back.
That's high praise for a guy who's got 6 career catches. He had 4 catches last year. You know, he was on the field, I think, enough to where we noticed him, especially over the second half of the season. But, you know, he wasn't getting a ton of targets. But clearly he does a lot of other things well. You know, he pass blocks or run blocks well enough to earn some praise. And again, he was one of the guys who had the most, I think he was like second or third in snaps on special teams.
They have big decisions to make. But let's not forget Donovan Peoples-Jones. He caught that 65-yard touchdown pass the other day. That was a really nice play, both from Case. It was a nice throw by Case Keenum. Nice catch by Donovan Peoples-Jones. And then Taywan Taylor gets a lot of reps. I mean, he's in there a lot. So, you know, I do agree with Chad O'Shea that there is good competition there. Damian Ratley, when he's healthy and when he's out there, you know, there's something to him as well. Now, he has struggled both last year and this year with missing almost all of the camp, and that hurts him. That sets him way back. But when he's out there, you know, he's not too far behind the other guys. So I agree. It's a pretty good competition.